The MeidasTouch network can now project that the yes vote will win Virginia's redistricting referendum, handing Democrats a major victory with huge national implications.
So MeidasTouch just broke down Virginia's massive redistricting victory that could flip House control back to Democrats. This is the culmination of Trump's own redistricting strategy backfiring spectacularly. We'll see exactly how Democrats turned Trump's playbook against him, plus his panicked response. Let's break this down.
This constitutional amendment allows Democrats to immediately redraw congressional maps in Virginia ahead of the midterms, potentially shifting the state from a 6-5 Democrat-Republican congressional makeup to as many as a 10-1. 10 Democrats, 1 Republican.
That's a seismic shift. In today's razor-thin House margins, 4 seats is enormous. Republicans currently hold a narrow majority, so flipping Virginia's delegation from 6-5 Republican to 10-1 Democratic would essentially hand Democrats the House. That's why Trump is in full panic mode.
That would be a net gain of 4 seats for Democrats that could help decide control of Congress.
And that panic is justified. Democrats learned from 2021 when they played defense while Republicans gerrymandered aggressively. Now they're playing offense, using the exact same mid-decade redistricting tactics Trump pioneered. The student became the teacher.
So everybody remembers when Donald Trump started the plan of redistricting in Texas because Trump wanted to steal the midterms. Remember the headlines. White House pushes Texas to redistrict, hoping to blunt Democratic gains.
This is classic cause and effect. Trump broke the gentleman's agreement on redistricting timing, thinking he gained permanent advantage. But Democrats studied his Texas playbook and realized they could use the same tactics in blue states with devastating effect.
A rare mid-decade redistricting push has unnerved some Texas Republicans who worry a drive to harm Democrats could end up endangering the GOP incumbents in 2026. That's exactly what happened.
Even Texas Republicans saw this coming. When you dilute safe districts to create marginal gains elsewhere, you risk losing everything if there's a wave election. That's exactly what's happening now, with Democratic overperformance in special elections nationwide.
It has backfired, and it started with California Governor Gavin Newsom's Prop 50 standing up and doing the redistricting in California, which overwhelmingly passed in California to fight back and neutralize what was happening in Texas. And then we saw Democrats finally fight fire with fire, and they demonstrated when they do that, they can win.
Newsom's California success became the blueprint. Democrats finally stopped bringing policy papers to a knife fight. They adopted Trump's own aggressive redistricting timeline and are now outmaneuvering Republicans at their own game in multiple states simultaneously.
Virginia has voted to redraw its congressional district map through 2030, and Democrats will now likely flip 4 seats in November: Virginia 1, Virginia 2, Virginia 5, and Virginia 6, which each went +7, +5, +9, and +3 respectively for former Vice President Kamala Harris.
Those Harris margins show these aren't pipe dreams. +7, +5, +9, +3. These are absolutely winnable districts for Democrats, especially with their current overperformance. Republicans drew these maps assuming 2020 voting patterns would hold forever.
As Adam Carlson also explains, to my eye, Democrats have definitively taken the lead in the mid-decade redistricting battle for this cycle. Democrats will likely gain 8 to 10 seats, while Republicans will likely only gain 4 to 8 seats.
Do the math. If Democrats net 4 to 6 seats from redistricting alone, that's potentially enough to flip the House. Add in normal electoral dynamics and Democratic overperformance, and Republicans could face a massacre in November.
You see, when you do some of this redistricting, you have to dilute some of your other districts that you may view as safe districts to try to push, if you were doing this in Florida, Republican voters into Democratic districts to try to make a district a Republican district. But in bringing down some of that Republican vote from safer red districts, you know, if it's a plus 12, plus 14 red district and you bring it down to a plus 8 to try to transfer some of those voters to a otherwise Democratic congressional district, Democrats may now win in both of those districts or all of those districts, because that's what we've been seeing in these special elections.
Exactly right. Republicans assumed they'd maintain 2020 performance levels when they cracked safe districts. But Democrats are running 8 to 12 points ahead of Harris in special elections. Those safe Republican districts Republicans weakened are now in play.
Now, Donald Trump was absolutely terrified of this result. He went on various right-wing podcasts before this yes vote was officially won by the Democrats, or the yes vote won. And this is what he said.
Trump knows what's coming. With the Democratic House, he'd face immediate investigations into his Iran strikes, classified documents, financial dealings, plus potential impeachment proceedings. That's why he's desperately trying to rally his base before it's too late.
He said that he's terrified that if Democrats get these additional seats, they'll change everything at a federal level. And Trump is terrified that he is going to be impeached. Here, play this clip.
And with Trump's recent Iran escalation, House Democrats would have plenty of ammunition for oversight. War powers violations, constitutional questions about unilateral military action. Trump's seeing his presidency potentially neutered before it gets going.
One of the MAGA top influencers, someone by the name of Scott Presler, who's Donald Trump's superstar. Donald Trump loves this guy. And then in Roanoke, Virginia, here was Scott Presler going around. He just visited elementary schools.
Presler is Trump's top grassroots organizer. He delivered Pennsylvania in 2024, registered thousands of Republicans nationwide. If he can't mobilize voters in Virginia on redistricting, that shows Democratic enthusiasm is overwhelming MAGA energy, even in red areas.
But even Donald Trump's number one recruiter, even Donald Trump's number one guy, Scott Presler, couldn't get out the vote for no. Here's what he had to say. And then shortly thereafter, the no vote lost and the yes vote won. Let's play this clip.
When your best organizer fails this badly, it signals deeper problems. Democratic voter registration and turnout operations have clearly outmatched Republican efforts. Trump's base isn't energized enough to show up for these crucial down-ballot fights.
And then you had Barack Obama really leading the charge on this yes vote. Here's what Obama had to say. Let's play this clip.
Obama's personal involvement signals how seriously Democrats view this moment. Former presidents don't campaign on redistricting unless it's absolutely critical. His presence shows the party learned from 2010 and is prioritizing these foundational power battles.
And I want to give a shout out to California Governor Gavin Newsom, who pioneering Prop 50, I think really inspired the nation, inspired pro-democracy people throughout the country. Remember when Gavin Newsom said the following. Let's play this clip about Prop 50. And when Prop 50 passed, that was one of the biggest moments where Democrats were like, yes, we can fight back.
Newsom proved the concept works. California's redistricting success gave Democrats nationwide confidence they could fight fire with fire. Now Virginia, New York, and other blue states are following the California model with devastating effectiveness.
So you may be asking, well, Ben, what's Donald Trump doing right now? He's currently in the Oval Office, I kid you not, reading Bible verses. He's reading Bible verses from the Oval Office and streaming it right now. I'll just show you a short clip. Let's play it.
While Democrats are executing sophisticated political strategy and building lasting electoral advantages, Trump's reading Bible verses on camera. That's the contrast voters will see. Serious governance versus performative desperation.
Set aside Democrats, pro-democracy with a big win, not just stopping Donald Trump's redistricting plan, but taking command, fighting fire with fire, finally.
This represents a fundamental shift in Democratic strategy. They've stopped being the party that brings policy briefs to power struggles. Virginia proves Democrats can win when they match Republican hardball tactics with superior organization and execution.